Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today, we are talking the best cards to buy right now in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. Obviously, with Ring of Honor coming out yesterday, there's a lot of things going on with the market, and there is definitely some good buys out there in the game. Probably the best it's ever been for quality of cards compared to their price. Of course, that's the point of this whole series. Finding cards that where their performance level on the field and what they're worth is much lower than that, and those are of course considered good buys. And there's like I said, there's a bunch of them, so many. Before we get started though, if you are part of the 63% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down there, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and we'll be live tonight over on Twitch, rating teams live for the first hour of the stream, so I better see you there. First up, the best buy in the game right now, without question, is Bo Jackson. This card is 100K, and in my opinion, he's the second best QB in the game. Number one is Mike Vick. That card's obviously very expensive, and you're going to see a lot of combine cards as we go through the positions here because they are just so good as far as value goes. They get the best X factors in the game, which is the combine ones, which means they start off for 9 plays, then they're on for the rest of the game and cannot turn off. So of course, Master Tactician gives Bo Conductor, Hot Route, and Playmaker, but he also gets Hot Route Master, Set Feet, and Gunslinger, and has, or sorry, not Hot Route, sorry, Set Feet and Gunslinger, 2 AP, then you can go Gift Wrap, whatever else you want to run. It's honestly broken how good Bo Jackson is with these stats. He doesn't have the elusive, ball carrier abilities of Mike Vick, but for 100K with the best release in the game and those abilities and those X factors at QB, he is genuinely crazy. Next up, we have Payne and Eli. If you do want to go down the path of fully upgrading Payne and Eli, now would be not a bad time to do so. They're kind of tanking in price as people are selling their Payne and Eli's to go get Mike Vick. The bougie, the high level, the high coin accounts. They're selling off their Payne and Eli's that they just upgraded last week to go ahead and get Mike Vick. So if you're more on the higher end of, you're in the higher end of the MUT economy, sure, you're able to do this, and I think it's not bad value right now. But again, Mike Vick is just better. And it's pretty close between these two, as the fully upgrading, just buying Vig and then fully upgrading Payne or Eli, whichever one you want to use. It's pretty close in as far as price now. It's a little bit more reasonable than what it was last week. Next up, Doug Will, 90K for this card. Best release in the game. Great abilities, can be upgraded. Doug Will. I don't got to talk about this card any more than I already have. Will Levis for under 300K. Great value, one of the best cards in the game. Slinger 1, great stats as you guys can see, and also does get a pretty good ability stack, but you can't say he's the best because Mike Vick is in the game. Simple as that. He's a stud. We then have Josh Allen for under 200K. Solid, decent release with a good ability stack and good speed, good carrying, a good kind of rollout. Can run the ball, running a quarterback, my bad. And now speaking of running backs, we have Josh Jacobs for 150. But of course, it's going to be Bo Jackson for 100K. People are selling their running back bows to go get Eric Dickerson. The difference between Bo and Dickerson is very marginal. It's not 900K worth. It's not, or 800K worth. It's not that crazy. In order to make Dickerson good, you're gonna have to use the token, meaning that if you want to get Vic and use the token, you can't do both. So to me, the better combo is Vic at quarterback because Vic is special at his position. There's no one else like Vic where you get a cheap ability set up with his, with his evasive and his run and gun or truz, whatever you want to run. There's no other quarterback in the game like that. So to me, it's better to run Vic at QB with the token and then just use Bo Jackson, who is still the top 2 running back in the game. Dickerson is a little bit better, but again, you have to use that token, and Dickerson and Bo can basically do the same things. I'm pretty much splitting hairs between Bo and Dickerson based off of one gets Energizer, one's a little bit taller, but Bo is still great. We then have Marshawn Lynch. I like Bo a lot more, but people who are sick of Bo, Marshawn Lynch is also pretty good. Emmett Smith as well. People who are sick of Bo, Emmett Smith's here for you too. He gets angry runs as an AKA, meaning he'll turn on, come back, turn on, come back, turn on, come back, but it's still very good with these stats. At fullback, we have Mike Allstott as well as Reggie Gilliam. And at wide receiver, we have Chris Collinsworth. I tried, there are obviously good wide receivers in this game, and I try to keep the price down a little bit, as to me, those are good buys. Spending 500K for Carmichael, if he was closer to 4, basically quick sell, I would say go for it. There are a couple cards like that, like Demaryius Thomas. Finneran, I wouldn't buy him yet. Andre Johnson wouldn't buy him yet. Randy's a solid one. I'm on Ross St. Brown. I really do like as a buy, and same with Nico Collins. Those are kind of 2 more expensive ones. This one's good because he's a 98 speed, tall wide receiver with good abilities, and Amon Ra, 6 foot with 98 speed, is also very good and very good for Y2K teams. So there are definitely, even Cooper Kupp's also a good one. So I tried being somewhat reasonable with the price tags. Even Darius Hayward Bay for 500. is a good buy, but there is obviously a cheaper replacement to him, which is Andre Reed, who gets yak him up as well. I do think Darius Hayward-Bay is better than Andre Reed, obviously, but for half the price, Andre Reed would be the better buy. Not that Darius Hayward-Bay is a bad buy, just Andre Reed is a better buy, so I didn't put both of them on here. So I like Andre Reed. Obviously, Christian Watson, 150 for 98 speed at 6'4". This is kind of what I was saying with Nico Collins, where he's a big body, 98 speed, great cheat, tall receiver, but Christian Watson's a fraction of the price and can pretty much do the same things for you. We have Plesko Burst going for close to 100K now. This card also can be lit up with the lighted up token to get the 97 speed at 6'5" with these stats, which is absolutely ridiculous. We also have MVS for under 100K, who can be powered up too, 97 speed at 6'4". We got Luke Musgrave at tight end, who, looking at the tight end landscape right now, he's a pretty good buy. I would say he's debatably like tight end 2-ish, somewhere in there, probably tight end 2, maybe tight end 3. So a pretty solid buy there for Luke Musgrave with his size and decent run blocking stats. Kyle Pitts for 300K. I don't hate it. Kyle Pitts is a good body. He moves, he moves well, good speed, 6'6", obviously. So I don't hate that buy right now. If you can even get his, his normal LTD for basically quick sell, that's also an amazing buy. Travis Kelce, 600K, 300K for him. And of course, he had to be on here. Bo Jackson, tight end, who is going for under 200K right now with these stats. Is he your tall 6'5" tight end? No. But he can also play receiver too, if you want him to do that as well. Gets very good abilities, well, decent abilities, because he does get route tech for 2, which isn't really up to par right now. But it's the X factors. He also does get yak 'em up. But Vanguard's the big one. Vanguard, if you're not using a yak 'em up, or maybe not using an X factor on your QB or something like that, go use Vanguard, and it is frustrating to face. And again, once it's lit up after those first 9 plays, it is on for the rest of the game. Broken. Bo Jackson. Really, all the Bo Jacksons are just amazing buys, but the QB one's probably the best. Dave Casper as well for under 100K or around it. Good build, good size. Can be lit up too. And a pretty good run blocker as well with some pretty okay abilities. They're okay. I think those a little better. And then a cheap Vanguard here. Again, it's AKA. Turns on, comes back, turns on, comes back. It's going to be Heath Miller. The speed's not great. Not a great, receiver, so to say, but he does get Vanguard, which is one of the best X factors in the game. Going to the offensive lineman, we're going to get through these as fast as possible. Garrett Bowles for 100K. Love this card. Left tackle, Ring of Honor, Chris Hinton is also a pretty good one here. Pretty solid. A little bit light, but they obviously kind of reverted the whole weight thing. Left guard, we got Isaiah Samulio, Peter Skoronski there as well. Steve Avila, too, with 90 speed base, which on the combine team, I think you can get up to 96 speed at left guard, which is stupid. And we have Josh Myers at center. We have Greg Van Roten there, too. Alex Capo for right guard. Austin Corbett for right guard. Joe Tittman, of course, 87 speed for right guard, too, for 14K. We then have Mike Uwenu, who for 200K, all 32 team chems, is a great buy. And the man, if I remember correctly, does get 2 0 AP abilities. Natural talent in all day, so why not run him? Or you can even go identifier or whatever you want to do there. So Michael Wenu, also a really good one there too. And then we have Trent Brown for 130. We have George Karlaftis going over to defense now, who does get Colossus. Colossus is the big one here. Colossus for under 200K with these stats and these traits, stupid good. Probably up there with Bo as far as the best buys in the game. His production is off the charts, and what he's worth is pretty much fractional to what he does on the football field. We have Unstoppable Force, Reggie White, and these 3 cards right here, if you are just getting started in MUT, buy George Karlaftis, buy Reggie White, and buy Justin Matabuke. Run those 3 guys up front with their X factors lit. Colossus for Karlaftis, Unstoppable Force for both Matabeast and Reggie White, and your pass rush is going to be up to par with the best teams in the game immediately. Not as good as 2 Colossus is, which you'll be able to do here as we click through, and I'll show you in a second. But right end Aaron Donald, also great. Doesn't get that crazy X factor, but obviously you only can run 3 on each side of the ball. So you still want to have a guy with good speed, good stats, and amazing traits, which is what Aaron Donald is able to do and can play anywhere on the defensive line, defensive tackle, right end. You can put it left end, doesn't matter. Chase Young does get X factors, but they're not great X factors. He does get blitz, but the card does play fairly well, and he's 90-90, and he's got perfect traits. So I do like Chase Young as far as him being a buy. Warren Sapp, another one of those Unstoppable Force. When lit up, 91 speed, 87 acceleration with these stats and perfect traits. 100K? Yeah, sign me up all day. Jalen Carter as well, 300K. Again, you only get 3 X factors on both sides of the ball. He's just a good standout card. High acceleration, great size, and I loved his Zero Chill card, which I believe I put on here. Yeah, I did. Okay, I love this one too. He's also great. But I like Jalen Carter cards throughout this year. They've played amazing for me. Aaron Donald as well. Just another one of those guys. No X factors on the cheaper end of things. Still an amazing card. 90-90, perfect traits, good speed, and a great defensive tackle option. We have, of course, Gilbert Brown and William Perry finishing out the defensive tackles. This one's tough, but I do think Ted Hendricks is the best user in the game right now. To be able to get him, if you can get him closer to 400K right now, which he's falling towards, do that. He's a 6'7", 97 speed, 99 acceleration guy. Pass rushing wise, he's great. Zone coverage wise, he's great. Against the run, he's decent with, 55 impact block isn't great, but it's still, you're still using a 6'7" guy with amazing abilities. Not amazing, but they're good enough where he's still the best user in the game. You know what I mean? So Ted Hendricks for close to 4 is a great buy. This one right here is also amazing. Debatably, yes, is a better buy to me than Karlaftis. It doesn't have as good of traits as Karlaftis, but still does get Colossus. The only difference is that if you power up or light up Karlaftis, it's on for the whole game, and on Rapco, it's on after the first 9 plays. So Colossus is obviously great, and I would replace him with either like Reggie White or Mata Beast as far as, that defensive line goes that I was just mentioning. But Colossus for this, with this price, yeah, it's broken. And all the compound guys are broken because, again, they have the best X factors in the game. You know they're going to be on after those first 9 plays, and they do not turn off. You have the best X factors in the game with amazing, with amazing stats, amazing speed, but it doesn't really matter. Those X factors are what you're looking for. We have Terrell Suggs as well here, and also the lower Terrell Suggs, both cards over 90, both cards perfect traits as well. But watch out for him inside of a Starbucks. He might get a little wild. Middle linebacker, we have Fred Warner, who's able to get lurk artist and mid zone for 0, which is great. He's not the only one that can do that now. We also do have Demario Davis, but he's not a great buy at 500K by any means. Isaiah Simmons, under 150K for this card. 6'4", can play man, can play zone, great against the run. This card's been an amazing user for me, and he does get free lurk artist, which is pretty much the standard for linebackers. Wildman, still a good one. Reinforcement, aka decent size, good speed for under 50K is a great buy. Right outside linebacker. I don't love a lot of the right outside linebackers in this game, but if you're looking for a good one, DeMarcus Ware is one of them. These stats are crazy. The traits are also perfect, which is what I'm looking for. Can even drop in his zone. Great against the run with, very complete right there. Crazy speed. And the ability's no special X factor, but like edge threat is great. Pick artist if you want to pull him out and, user him. Enforcer Supreme's good too, which is unbreakable hit sticks, which is also very nice, especially against those, those pesky, angry run, freight train running backs. Bo Jackson, right outside linebacker. Yeah, he's here too. Can be a great user. He's my pass rusher, and the card plays great, screaming off the edge. Decent against the run, but you can drop him into coverage and use him every once in a while if you want to give your opponent a different kind of look on defense. The abilities, of course, crazy. Does get dual threat. Does get avalanche, which we all love, and then obviously lurk artist. He's decent as a pass rusher. Have I used better ones? Yes, but the value again is just insane on these Bo Jackson cards. Derek Thomas, 50K, mainly because he's got perfect traits. He's close to that threshold right there and good speed. Of course, great. Lawrence Taylor, again, over 90 in both, 91 speed with, I think he's been in every single one of these episodes since his price has fallen. But yes, with over 90 both ways, good speed, and he's Lawrence Taylor. Sign me up. At corner, I went for some higher end guys because you got to spend a little bit to make your corners good in every Madden game. So Deion Sanders, a guy that can, whether you play man or zone, he'll fit your scheme. It does get return man as well. Deion cards always will play crazy. Brian Branch as well, if you can get him close to 400K, phenomenal buy. More of a zone guy. Does get some man abilities, but that deep zone KO is great with his build, and you can go mid zone, flat zone for free if you want to play him up close, but deep zone, mid zone, oh my goodness, that is going to be crazy on Brian Branch. If you can get the card for close to 400K. Kind of going down, under 300K, you have Charles Peanut Tillman, another one of those Y2K guys. He's amazing against the run. For a corner, this is ridiculous. In coverage, he's great, and does get decent abilities like deep out zone, which we're all looking for. And also you can go mid zone or flat zone or pick arts, whatever you want to do right there, you're able to do on Charles Peanut Tillman. Again, he's here. He should be the cornerback version, or not the special version, so I can kind of show you his full price. I selected the wrong one. That's on me. Where's that going to be? Cornerback Bo, right here. Under 150K for this card. People might shy away from Bo because he's more of a man-to-man, but with the X factors, you're able to use dual threat, which turns him into an all-zone KO guy. Will he get faster reactions? No, but he still does get the ability to have all the zone KOs and man KOs with these stats right here. Crazy. I use him right now with no X factor, and the card still does play great for me. We have Marshawn Lattimore over 300K. Then we got Sauce Gardner, and we got Pat Surtain. All pretty similar to me. Good size on all these guys, good speed on all these guys, and good abilities on all these guys as well. Charles Woodson, good against the run. More of a zone guy, but good speed, all that good stuff that you're looking for on a cornerback. We have Bo Jack. Oh, I put him on twice. My bad. I didn't even realize I did that. That's how good of a buy he is, I guess. We have Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. This is more of a man-to-man. If you play man-to-man, DRC is a great buy. Outside of that, I don't like for zone guys. You don't care about this card at all. But playing man, 6'2", 97 man coverage, 97 speed with his build is crazy. We also have Night Train Lane, who's under 100K right now. For a card that can do this versus the run, can play coverage like that with 96 speed. It's not awful right now for under 100K at corner, and it also does get deep out zone, which is great for the zone guys out there, obviously. At free safety, we have Ed Reed. Do I love this buy for my scheme? No, but he does get the ability for deep zone and mid zone for 1 AP, which is why people like this card so much. At safety, he's like the perfect safety, kind of X factors or whatever for under 200K. We then have Justin Simmons, who doesn't get that same treatment, but does get deep zone. I think deep zone, mid zone for 2, still not bad, but deep zone pick artist. But of course, he does get that reinforcement X factor, which gives him KOs in all coverages, man or zone, and also can play man or zone. For me, I play a lot of man. I do use inside shade on Justin Simmons, as it does put in work in man-to-man coverage with deep zone as well, because I need my guys to be able to play over the top 2 at safety. So I need kind of a guy that can do both, and Justin Simmons with his build and his speed and his X factors and his abilities are great. I'm also saying here we have Afatu Melifonwu, who is a free safety, 6'3", 96 speed, can play man, can play zone. Doesn't get the X factors, but does get a deep out zone, as well as a mid zone for 2, which you can't complain about that. Ronnie Lott here as well for under 100K on this card. He gets deep zone for 2, which is great, and then pick artist as well. And he does get X factors. They're not great though. I wouldn't really use these X factors. It's not worth it on Ronnie Lott, but under 90K, why not? We then have Cam Chancellor under 150K. Well, about 150K, I guess, but a magnificent buy as a user. Really is why I like this card. But 6'3", 225, can play man, can play zone, can kind of do it all. And of course, not the best abilities, but can definitely get the job done there with deep zone and pick artist with his build. But I like him as a user. Really, he's great there. And finally, Jair Brown has to be on here. The man is able to get, of course, deep route KO or deep zone KO for 1 with pick artist or flat zone, whatever you want to do with that. Also does get the reinforcement X factor as well for about 88K right now. This is probably one of the top 3 buys in this video. But again, there's a lot of good buys right now in this game. If you buy a lot of these cards and then have some higher end cards on your team, you're going to be able to compete with really anybody. And that's why I feel like a combine team right now is the best team to build, because you can build them out 25 pretty easily and they're super affordable. You don't even need the LTD guys that come with the combine promo. You don't even need them. And you can build a combine team for very cheap for one of the best teams in the game that you can probably run up until Madden 25. The only problem is the team might get boring to you because you're using all Bo Jacksons. But if you can look past that, combine team's one of the best in the game. And they have the best value. Like, they're stupid good. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. So, of course, as always, thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you boys in the next one.